Yeah.
So we have here Miss Anjali Gursahaney with us, who is an author who has just emerged in this world, this good world. And we see her progressing, and we see her, getting towards her goal. And her book has been an amazing, gift to mankind, I feel, which she's done. She's talking about emotional powers and how you can create them into superpowers. So let's talk about her journey as Anjali and the author of that book. So welcome, Anjali. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sumi. Thank you for having me today.
That's so nice. That's so nice. So, Anjali, tell me something about you first. Let's talk about you first. How did this start? Firstly, we need to know about you. How did it start with you? Who are you, basically? And just let's go with that first. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Anjali. I am a self-healing coach. I go by the name of happiness coach as well, because kind of people relate that with me. And I am a ICF approved life coach. I am a Reiki healer. I am learning tarot cards. And yeah, that's just things that I am doing. I've recently become a Reiki master so that I can teach people Reiki as well.
Wow.
And I'm also a communication fitness coach with the company, and I'm freelancing with them. And now I'm also an author for Empower Your Superpowers.
Wow, so many stars on your, on your shoulders right now. That's good to know. So many things you are actually not doing. You have become that. So it's great to know that. And I think this has been a reason why you have come towards becoming an author as well, writing things as well.
Yeah, so writing is something that I actually love. I love it from my childhood, but I have never been like a very confident writer. I would write things, but I would never share it with people. It is now that I got the confidence that, maybe I can, and maybe people would like it, which that's what they are.
What was the trigger factor? Like you went for that. What was the trigger factor? Like you were writing, right? You were writing stuff. And then suddenly you said, no, I want to go public with this. What was the trigger factor?
So it was a process. It was not just one trigger that came in. It was a process. It was a progress. I did a lot of internships in the field of writing, wherein I used to get a lot of bylines. But all of those articles were again edited by my editors. Everything was edited. It was not. It was not unfiltered me. It was a filtered version of my writing.
Okay.
So I do have a lot of bylines. If you go on internet, you would find my articles written. But again, it was not me unfiltered. When I started doing my Instagram, when I started writing on my Instagram, I do rants. Whenever I feel something very deeply, I just write one paragraph, 2 paragraphs about it. And somehow people started relating with them. They said, oh yeah, we feel this. I could not put it in words, but I feel what you're saying. This is what I was going through exactly. So I was putting words on people's feeling, right? They were kind of relating with it. So that just kind of motivated me a little. And then of course I got a challenge to write it. And I am someone who works with challenges. If you give me a challenge, I will complete it.
Yeah, I feel that's what is a triggering factor for you. That's what, the challenge part. And I do understand when you correlate and you find people, you're putting words in people's feelings, they actually make you write more. And that's good to know. That's really good to know. Yeah, really. So now I want viewers to just pay attention, because now we're going to take tips from Anjali on becoming an author. So she's going to be giving us her journey, her experiences, her do's and don'ts. So she's going to be helping us to understand, basically. So over to you, Anjali. We will just try to understand your beginning, how you started writing a book from the day one, the first scratch on your book, all right, till the last dot of your book. Let us go in that journey right now. So start. You can just start, right? So
it first started with a training session that Guru Murli took and said, writing book in 100 days. But what he did in that session, was he told us to put it on Facebook. That my name is this, I am attending this workshop of writing books in 100 days. And by this date, my book will be out. On Facebook, at least on my Facebook, I have all my family relatives. Extended relatives, everyone from that side. Not my friends. My friends are not very active on Facebook, but all my relatives are. And considering I am from India, relatives play a very big role in our lives. So when you put it out there, there is an expectation from all those relatives now that, oh, she is writing a book. Let's see if she'll come with the book or not.
So it
And
was
then
like a
they will
pledge, we
come
can
and
say. It
ask.
was like a pledge. You took
Yeah.
a pledge, right? In
Yeah,
front of
kind of a
people
pledge,
that
yes.
I take a pledge, like in 100 days, I'm going to write a book. Oh,
Yes.
so we can say the first step is the pledge part, right?
Yeah, because when you take this pledge, you have motivated yourself in one way, and then you have other motivating factors as well. People will come and ask you that, hey, where's your book? You were writing a book, right? What happened to it?
Perfect. Perfect. Right.
And
Okay.
when there are a lot of people coming and asking that, you're like, oh, damn, I need to do something about it.
That's good. So good. The first step, audience, I hope you noted this down. First step is pledge. Okay. You've got to take pledge and tell it to the people so that embarrassed. You feel embarrassed. That's good. Okay. That's nice. Next.
The second, okay, so this is how I was guided in the process, and I'm just repeating what I was told, was to find a title and to final a book cover. Though my title and a book cover are completely different by the end of it. But for the starting, I believe we need it because we need to see how it will come in picture.
All right.
Just identify any title. My book's first title was I don't even remember. The Power of Self-Dating, I think, something like that. It was something about self-love, I believe.
Okay.
And it had a very feminine cover. I wanted something gender neutral, but the person who made the cover said that no, this is a prettier cover for a self-love book.
Okay.
I said, okay, I do not appreciate it much, but okay, let's go ahead with it for now.
Okay.
Though again, I did not post that cover anywhere, but I could see it. I could I could visualize it in front of me. So visualization takes a lot of power. It has a lot of power, right?
Okay.
When you see your name written Anjali Gursahaney in the end of it, you're like, okay, yeah, that is something I will create.
Wow. So the second step, we can say that you created a title of your book?
Yeah. Title and cover.
Title and cover was the second step which you did. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. What else? Next, title and cover, and then you related yourself with that. Okay. Next.
The third step was writing everything that I want to write about. So I took a paper, and whatever topics interest me, whatever is something that I really like talking about, I wrote all those topics down.
Not related to your title. Not related to your title.
Nothing. Just everything.
Just
that I
whatever
want to
was coming in your mind, and you.
Yeah.
So viewers, when you're writing a book, don't try to stick on to what is your title. Okay. Anjali Gursahaney is giving that tip. Just write your mind out. Great. Continue.
So
okay.
That is also because when you write everything that is going inside your head, you see it in the paper. You know that we say that think on paper. Because when you think on paper, it is live in front of you. Your mind would visualize it better. Your mind will make a story out of it better.
I like to highlight this. Think on paper. Noted. Think on paper. Okay. Yeah,
so
please continue.
I wrote all the topics, every topic that I want to write. Okay. For me, I was as a coach also, I was not very clear with my niche. This book also helped me doing that. Because I started writing about self-healing. I started writing about self-love. I started writing about all of this because I felt strongly about them. And because I had gone through that journey. So that was something that was interesting me a lot. So now when you have a lot of topics, I had like 20 topics in my head. I wrote all the 20 topics. Okay. Now pick out 10. These 10 topics would be your chapters.
All right. Okay. So you wrote like 20 chapters. Like you just kept on writing.
I just wrote 20 topics. I just wrote 20 topics. Headlines.
Okay. All right.
Just headlines. Okay. No information in them. No idea what information we'll put in them. We'll think about it when we're there.
All right. So you had this 20 topics ready with you.
Yeah.
And then you selected out of them the best 10 which you found related to your title, or you wanted to create a title, basically speaking, as per that.
Yes.
So see, again, audience, have your topics ready, extra topics ready, so you can utilize and you can scatter them later on, disintegrate. All right, great. We are having a good conversation. I'm Samir here and Anjali here. So yes, Anjali, please continue.
Okay, so when you're done writing these 10 topics, now pick first one out of it. Okay. Find quotes for those topics. So for all 10 topics, you should have 10 different quotes. Why? Because quotations help you make a flow in the story. And they help your mind be creative as to how this quote relates with the story. So quotes are an easy hack. So find quotes related to your, and finding quotes is very easy. If you write forgiveness, you'll find 100 quotes like that. So find quotes.
Agreed. Oh, cool tip. Yeah, that's a cool tip. Find quotes of what topic you're writing, and you can include it with giving that copyright to that person as well.
Absolutely.
Cool, Anjali. Okay. All right.
So when you're done writing these quotes, now you have 10 quotes for each chapter. Okay.
Okay.
Now what you have to do is take first chapter, write down see the quotes in front of you and start writing. Research, write, and stop when you're done writing 3,000 words. Whatever the topic is.
Okay. Stop writing at 3,000 words. That's what you followed.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Why? Because if you do 3,000 into 10, it goes to the limit that a book should have.
Wow. See the calculation, everyone. Do you see the calculation? Cool. Nice. Okay. So, continue. Yeah.
Because whenever you start writing a book, you're like, oh no, I have to write a lot. It's a बहुत time lag jata. That the bias is that. So to conquer that bias, you actually need to understand how much you really need to write. And even if you write 500 words a day, it's enough. 1,000 words a day, 500 words a day, it's enough. And it won't take more than an hour. If you research and write, an hour is at max. Literally at max. But when you get into a flow of writing it, you'll easily end up writing 2,000 words in a day.
Yeah, I agree. You need to be in the creative flow, as you said. We need to be in the creative flow. Even that 1 hour, we need to be having that, I think that kick which you need, that, this is what I need to do this right now. That flow has to come in. Yeah.
With this, I don't think everybody can write every day. So even though I finished my manuscript in 66 days, but I was not writing in all 66 days. There were days where I was like, okay, today I can't find the right word. So on those days, I spend the time researching about all the other topics. Because when I'm researching, I'm writing down other things, right? I'm still doing something for my book. I've still dedicated that 1 hour for my book.
Perfect.
So that time commitment and that consistency is needed. If you do it every single day for 2 months, you are done. Your book is ready. But you just have to show up every single. I'm just, the 60 days, 1 hour each day.
So 60 hours, we can say 60 hours, you had this book ready, and some days you didn't feel like writing as well. So
yeah,
I just want audience to know that, see, it's not about writing every day, as she said. It's not writing about, writing every day. It's about finding that right mood and right emotions to write. And then you come up, you maybe in 1 hour, you will write many pages, more words than in other days. So you don't force yourself, you have to write. It's when the feeling comes, right, Anjali? When the feeling comes, and then you... Perfect.
And also one more point, just don't go back and read what you've already written. Never do that. Never ever do that.
Wonderful. This is one tip I wanted to come from you, because I believe the same thing, Anjali. I believe, when you write and you go back again and again, oh my God, that's a mess. That's a big mess.
You'll go back, you'll reread it, and you'll be like, oh, this is not right. Oh, I should have added this more.
Perfect. Perfect.
Complete your entire chapter, complete your entire book, then read it again. It's okay. Any which ways, whatever your first draft is, it won't be perfect. It will never be perfect. No matter how much hard work you put in, it will not be perfect. It will need second draft. It will need a third draft. It will need rounds of editing. So at least get everything out. Vomit that shit out of your brain. Vomit everything out of your brain.
Yeah, like, that you can say drain, get everything drained from your brain. And then later on, you can...
It should be out on paper.
You can just kind of edit it later on. But I do agree with you, going back again and again, because see, we are social humans and we always believe in improvement as human beings. Absolutely. And as soon as we go through our works again, definitely there'll be a room for improvement, for definite. So
there's always a room for improvement.
This is a very important tip, Anjali, from you for to be authors, myself as well, because I'm aspiring to become, looking at her, she's motivating me. So so next we go and we have to be, not going back to the work which is written. We just have to continue writing. What else then? Tell me.
Okay, so when you are done with your first chapter, just keep going for 66 days or 100 days, whatever time you need. Just keep going. Don't go back to anything that you have written. Once you are done, once all of this has happened, you have spent 1 hour each day writing, and you have completed 3,000, almost 30,000 words by now. When you're done writing. Okay, so when you're also writing, it is also important to make sure there's a flow of your content, right? And you should make sure that everything that you're writing is also reader engaging, because no one wants to read a boring book. So for me, what I did was, my book has a lot of personal stories. Up to you to take that or not, to not take that. You can obviously write fictional stories if you want. But for me, I felt that personal stories make me connect more to my reader. And I want these stories I want them to know all of this.
So you can say stories play a very important role in writing a book.
Absolutely.
Right? You need to have stories, right?
Make you engaged. Yeah. Stories make you engaged. So why do you think people read biographies or autobiographies? It's a story for someone's life, right? It's something that interests you. And even if any nonfiction, as coaches, we usually write nonfiction books.
Right.
So in nonfiction books, if you write just all information that is available on Google, no one is going to enjoy it. They need examples. They need to see how it can play in their life.
Understand.
People relate to you the most. People relate to your stories the most because your story is something that is not out there. People do not know about you as much. So your struggles, your story is something that they would always be interested in knowing. People always want to know a lot about the author. And when the author has given their stories in the book, it just gives them a lot of more interest to read it.
Exactly. I do agree with your point. What we're talking here is empathy, actually. Anjali, we're talking about empathy. You're creating empathy through this stories, maybe your personal and your fictional, as you're talking about, creating a fictional as well. So yes, it creates a connection. I agree with you. With the reader, it definitely creates, or otherwise it's just a normal logical stuff which you read everywhere. But I absolutely agree on this point. We need stories. So I hope you're noting down, all of you all. Yeah. Anjali is giving this time and she's really giving her the tips. This is hard work which she's put in, and she's just giving us in this 45 or 1 hour what we're going to talk about. So please keep on noting, right? Right, Anjali, continue. We had this, you included stories and you had this 30,000 words ready. What else? Tell us something more about don'ts, do's.
Now, when you are done with all of this, you have a manuscript almost ready with you. Okay, you have 30,000 words in front of you, ready by that is your book. That is something that you have written.
Just for the the making it easy for the audience. Yes. Can you just talk about the word manuscript so that they understand what is a manuscript?
Manuscript is what we were writing, the 10 chapters, everything that you write. The script of the book is called manuscript.
Yeah, so it is just talking about your 10 chapters, which is right now. Nothing more than that, right? That's 10 chapters.
Just 10 chapters.
Okay. All right. So I hope audience is clear on manuscript. This is like, what have you written? You have selected. Now these are going to be your 10 chapters or 9 chapters or 7 chapters or 20 chapters. That's the manuscript for you. Right. Next.
Now, when you're done doing that, go back and read it now. Make improvements now. This is your time to make the changes, do the editing.
So now you do the deeds.
30,000 words. Now you go back and read those 30,000 words and add things. Remember the quotes that we used? Add them now. Okay. That's the time when the quotes come in the picture. So in my book also, you will always see there's a first there's a quote and then I start with my chapters.
Right.
Because it just engages with the audience that, oh, that's a nice quote. I'd like to read more about it. You get that feeling, right?
All right. So just below the title, you want to give these quotes basically.
Yeah, and always name the author, whoever has written the quote. Always give them the rights.
Of course,
it's not yours. It's theirs.
That has to be there. Yeah. I do agree with you. Yeah, I do agree with you.
And as writers or someone who is trying to be an author, always remember that do not plagiarize. That's the basis of being a writer. And if by any chance you take articles or anything from the website, because which we all Google.
I had this question and you answered it without me asking. That's a wonderful thing you did. So yes, I do agree that at times, Anjali, we all are into this plagiarizing thing. We actually read stuff we don't understand, and sometimes we subconsciously or unconsciously take that. We don't realize. But yes, where we consciously know that we've taken stuff, we should be addressing it to the person whom we've taken it from. Like, you can just mention that I read an article from so and so, and then I came across this, or you give the credit to the person so that that's a good thing. I wanted to ask you this question, and it's a good thing which you did. Yeah.
When you give credit to someone, you're also establishing your authenticity and your credibility as a person, as a writer.
Absolutely.
You are giving a credit to the writer, all right?
Absolutely.
And second, to make sure that you're not plagiarizing anything, write your own stories. Your stories can never be plagiarized. These are your stories.
I agree with you. I totally agree. That's the reason if you share personal experiences are much more better than borrowing it from some other places. when you're talking about your personal stories, which you said, that was a good thing. And that's the reason I think people are now correlating with your book more, because it's more of personal stories, you know.
Yeah.
I see most of the successful books are because of their personal stories, the genuine part, you know.
Yeah.
Audience
That
knows, you know, audience connect to that.
Ashamed of talking about their life. People are very ashamed of
Yes.
talking about how bad their life was, what their struggle was.
Mm.
Like, but there are so many other people who are also going through that. And when you write that out, when you put that out, there are people relating to it because they were not able to say it. So it is important. Your stories are there because people want to be heard. You need to talk about your stories.
I totally agree with you, Anjali. It has to be basically, you know, sharing our experiences gives the strength to others to either get the solution to it. You know, what you have done is you are touching right now a lot of people with your stories, and they can correlate. Yes, I am going through the same thing, and I need to face it the way Anjali did. You know, so it's a good thing. Like, good authors are for that itself, you know, and good coaches are for that itself, to give that observation and to let people, because sometimes, you know, we don't kind of things there in us, we try to self-analyze and we can't see it. We just can't see it. And we need that third perspective to come in, or the second perspective to come in and show us, oh, wait a minute, this is what I'm going through. Exactly going through. And this is my issue. This is my problem. Now a wake-up call. Now what has to be done?
Yeah.
So cool. Good. Continue, Anjali. Yeah.
So yeah, when you are done, when you start editing your book, you would make a lot of changes. There is no right way to say this, but obviously.
But yeah, Anjali, I have a question. I have a question which most of the viewers will also be having. What is the limit of editing? Yeah? What is the limit? Where do you stop? You know, do you have a deadline, or you just continuously just keep on looking at it again and again and again?
So when I started writing in 100 days. So I had to complete my book in 100 days.
Right. Okay.
There was no going back from that, because that was the challenge I was given. Right. So if I take 200 days in just editing my book, I will reach nowhere. And okay, there was also one, I'm not sure if this is the right place to say this or not, but I would still just say it, that people who are readers or might read your entire book, but people who are there, who pick it just for their help, will read 3 chapters, 4 chapters and drop it. A lot of books in our house also we have, which we have not completed. Okay. So even if I read my book after 3 years, after 4 years, I will say, oh shit, what crap did I write? There's a lot of things that I can change now, because obviously I would be more learned, I would be more experienced, I would be more knowledgeable by then.
Perfect.
Right. Okay. But you need to understand, whatever you're doing right now should be your best. There's always a scope of improvement. That will not go. Do not, go behind perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Perfection does not exist. There's nothing that's perfection.
So nice. So there are, 2 points we need to make a note of out of all these lines which you just said, Anjali. Is one thing is you review your manuscript, you review your work, but with a deadline. The word deadline has to be very clearly understood. And secondly, perfection is a blurry word. We cannot be perfect. Right, Anjali? We cannot be perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? There's always a room for improvement. And I agree with you as well. Perfect tips. Yeah. I hope all of you are noting this down. Yeah. Please note it down. Yes, Anjali, continue.
So when you think your editing is complete, now, if we have done our editing in like 10 days, we took 10 more days, 1 day for each chapter, we did our editing. Give yourself those deadlines, make an entire schedule and give yourself those deadlines and complete it by then. Because 1 hour each day, that's all that you are giving. That's all that you are giving to your book. And that's not a lot of time. From 24 hours, 1 hour to your book, you have 23 hours to do anything else that you want in your life.
Perfect.
So
okay.
1 hour is enough. 1 hour is more than enough. When you're done doing the editing, now is the time to submit your manuscript to your publisher. The fancy part.
Okay. But before that, did you have your manuscript read by your family, your friends, whom you felt their intellect or because it's very important. I want people to know this. So please give me that. I need people to know this as well. So, please do that. Yeah.
So first of all, no one has the time to read your entire manuscript. No one will. No matter how close of a friend that it is.
This is an important part.
No matter how amazing mentor that is, they do not have, even if they want to genuinely help you, they do not have the time to read your entire book. Reading an entire book takes a lot of time. When you're published as a writer, even then people will take time reading your entire book, right? So you cannot expect people to read your book just like that and give you a feedback. That cannot happen. If you want to get feedback, write a synopsis and share that. say how your book is structured, say how your topics are, and give a small snapshot of like 1000 or 1500 words or maybe 2000 words. Give
Okay.
that to people. They'll take their feedback if you want. But again, taking a lot of feedbacks is also a lot of crap coming in your head.
Why do you think? Why do you think that is the issue? I need to know. Even viewers want to know, like, why? Why is it a crap going to for so many feedbacks?
Because what you have done is your work, first of all. Second,
Yes.
when people start come and comment on it, they are coming with their own perspective, right? And you would not agree to each and every perspective. You have written book with one single perspective of your own. People will read it with different perspectives. Every reader has a different viewpoint. Every person who will read your book will have a different perception of why you wrote it and how you wrote it.
Exactly.
Your perception is what matters.
Exactly.
Out of everything, yours is what matters.
Have you heard this? Your perception matters. All right. So don't go for a lot of reviewing of a manuscript or even a synopsis, which is talking about. You need you're writing the book for yourself. First of all, you have to understand that, right, Anjali? You're writing the book for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're writing the book for yourself.
A book is a good way of therapy.
Agree.
It's a wonderful way of therapy. You come out as a very different person when you're done with the entire process.
Yes. So the people have millions and billions of their own viewpoints and their own opinion, and then you end up nowhere actually, right? You get so many of opinions, and then you end up nowhere, and then you don't feel like this is not good enough, and you just pack it up. I think most of people do that, and they end up not getting published. Actually speaking, so very good point you made, Anjali. Very good point you made right now that not going to people with your manuscript, many of them. And they don't have time as well.
No one read my manuscript. No single person read my manuscript. And I did not even send it to anyone. I was like, this is mine. I have written it. Whatever it is okay.
I follow the same. I follow the same as well.
When you write, there's always a time when you also self-criticize yourself. And when your mind, plays all the negative thoughts and everything comes into play and they're all thorns in your mind.
Yeah.
At that point of time, I want you to understand that will happen. And it's okay. We are self-critical human beings. We ourselves do not think, we do not appreciate ourselves enough.
Right.
So whatever you have written, I remember I used to go to Sachin, I used to go to my Polaris members, TLC members, and be like, I've written my book, but I feel when people will read it, they will criticize me. And maybe I am not ready for that criticism. Even though I know this would help people, I am still not ready to receive the criticism. And that's what, by now, I have not received a criticism. People are still relating to the book. But at that time, it was important for me to understand that, even if people will criticize, that's still a learning for me. And right now, what matters is the book is going to impact someone. So even if it impacts one person, my job is done. I wrote 30,000 for that one person who got impacted.
This is the point which everyone has to know that. Everyone has to know. See, the points which Anjali made here, I feel I just want to share that as my viewpoint on that. You talked about criticism, and what people think about criticism, that it's a good thing, kind of, you're criticizing people, and it's a good thing. I feel people have to become motivators more than critics.
Absolutely.
What critics does is they are just talking the negative and negative and negative. They're telling you your wrong parts, but they leave you there.
Yeah.
They leave you there.
Yeah.
And they forget that a motivator is actually a critic as well. A motivator is telling you your issues, telling you your negatives, and then actually giving you a motivation to overcome that. This is one viewpoint which I totally believe in, Anjali. And the second point you made was very valuable, that you're writing, even if one person is having the impact, that's it. You have achieved what you wanted. So I hope you're connecting with these wonderful thoughts which are just pouring in here with me and Anjali. Yeah, we are just enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying, Anjali.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's going well. It's going really well. More than what I had expected. That's wonderful. So yes, Anjali, we had this manuscript to the publishers now. Now tell us the journey. This is a very critical part now. Yeah.
So it is very important to first identify the right publisher for your book, because obviously your book is your baby and you want it to go to a right school, right? You do not want it to go to a bad school and get all bad reviews. You want it to go to a nice place.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
it is very important for you to identify a good publisher. I
Okay.
spoke to over 50 publishers.
Okay.
And till the time my heart did not say, yes, this is the one, I did not move forward.
All right. Okay.
So I took that much time to research. If you don't want to, that is up to you again, because I had a lot of budget constraints. I had a lot of, because obviously publishing a book also takes a budget. If you
I have
are
a question. Yeah. I have a question.
private publishing. Yeah.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt you. When you're saying a good publisher,
yeah,
give me those points of good as per you. As per you. Forget others. As per you.
Yeah. He should have a wonderful editing team. Non-negotiable. Editing is absolutely important in a book. We have edited once, but it is also very important to get a third perspective of an editor, so that you're grammatically right.
Okay.
That is very important as writers, that we're grammatically right, we're not plagiarized, and the book is flowing in a way that when a reader, and these editors are they're experienced with books. They know how books function. They know how readers read. So it's very important to have that perspective on your book. They're not going to change your content. They're not going to tell you, oh, this is bad or this is that. They won't do that. They will just tell you how to make it better. Okay. And that's absolutely essential.
Now, with editor part, it just clicked me. What software did you write your book in?
I wrote Google Docs.
Google Docs. People note down. Simple Anjali writing in simple Google Docs. No complication, no big softwares, nothing. See, it's not about software which you're using. It's about the simplicity and what you use. And it's about your creativity. Good. So Google Docs.
The best part about Google Docs is that you can write it anywhere. Like, it's always on your Gmail. You just need to write laptop and you can write it anywhere, anytime. It's always on the cloud, right? You don't have to be like, oh, it was there in my home computer. I can't write now. Like, you have it there. Just write whenever you want.
So people, Google Docs, don't worry about security. Don't see, if Anjali would have worried about security, a book would not have been published till now. So it has been published. No, people get worried, Anjali, about putting on the cloud, Google Docs. Oh my God, my data, my ideas will go away. It did not go for Anjali. She's published. All right. Great. So Google Docs, a good tip. Yeah, it's very good tip.
This is also kind of excuse that we give ourselves, that it should be there, it should be in this, it should be in this one software, it should be protected like this, it should be that. Any which ways it has to go out in the world. Any which is your unique idea. Any which is whatever you will write will be your own perspective. So it cannot go anywhere else. It is all in your head. Do not give yourself these excuses. Like, all of these are excuses, nothing more.
I like that. We give ourselves excuses, not only for the book writing, but in our lives to reach to our goals. So stop giving excuses. Thanks, Anjali, for highlighting that. Right. So good publisher. We finished editing team. What else?
Yeah. The editing team again. So now this is again a time. So you remember you made a title and a book cover in the starting?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are high chances that you're not happy with it by now. Extremely high chances. Okay. So this is the time when you go back and think, oh, okay. Now how I want my book to look, and now what's the title of the book? For me, my first title was Power of Self-Dating. But now the title of my book is Empower Your Superpowers.
Yes.
So you see how different these are, how they are not even related to one each other.
Right.
But it took me almost like 90 days to find the right title.
Right.
When you give your title and a description about your book to your publisher, they will make a cover out of it. Okay. And high chances you will not like it. Because what you are thinking and what the editing guy of the publisher is thinking, the graphic designer guy of the publisher is thinking, would be completely different. So make sure you communicate what you want. It is very important. Again, this is why a good publisher is important, so that you understand, so that person understands what your needs are. And how you
one of the points which you would like to highlight of a good publisher is like, they should be understanding of what you want them to, what you have.
Your mind. Whatever you want, however you want it to function, that is how it will. So do not.
Ultimately, it's your product. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah,
it's all yours. So, when I was deciding a cover, there was a difference between two covers. So that one cover was a person sitting in meditation, but had a very cool background, like blacks and blues, and it would look very good in print and everything. Every single person I went for an opinion said that cover, but it did not feel right to me. It did not, because it had a meditative cover, and I was spiritual and meditative cover. And that is like the most common cover that you'll see in all spiritual books, on all self-help books. And
yeah,
that was not something that I wrote, right?
Yes,
I did not write about meditation. I wrote about self-healing. I wanted something different. I wanted something, something that would connect with me. The cover
I like the
that
color combinations. Yes, I like the color combinations of a book.
Beautiful.
It gives vibrance to your, when you, as soon as you see the cover, because I feel, the book of the cover actually creates a big impact before you open the book.
Absolutely.
And the colors.
They say don't judge the book by its cover, but people judge book by the cover, and that's the harsh truth.
That is, because you pick up the book after seeing the cover itself, the vibrance of the positive vibe which is coming from that.
Yeah.
I somehow believe, Anjali, books are like humans.
Yeah.
Books are like humans. When you're actually seeing a book, you see that book and then you approach the book. You want to know more about the book. It's not about being beautiful or being ugly or, whatever, like people try to create that barriers.
You just look at it and you're like, oh, that's a nice book. I might want to see and what it is. Then you go back and read, oh, this is this book about.
Exactly.
Maybe this is what would excite me.
It's the connection.
It's like these fancy dating apps, Bumble or something like that, where you are just going around seeing a lot of books, reading the bio and feeling like, oh, this is the person I would like to match with. This is the book I would like to pick and read. It's somewhat similar to that.
I agree with your point. I get that point as well, which you're trying to say. Yeah. So I just want the viewers to understand that firstly, you need to have the publishers understanding what you have in your mind, because publishers cannot telepath and they cannot understand what you have in your mind. Secondly, it is the title which she talked about before and the cover page she talked about before was for herself to being pushed. Understand that. And you have to rework on your title and cover page in case it does not match with what you have written, right? So ultimately, it's again, you have to revisit your cover page and your title. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Then we did this. All right. What else?
Yeah. So now so after a lot of go for and third and, a lot of discussion and everything, your cover would be ready.
Discussion with the publishers.
Discussion with the publishers. Yeah.
Okay.
They will send you mails. You'll be like, oh no, I don't like this. They'll again send you something. You're like, oh no, not even this. But always, give them examples. Give them examples and, research on Google of what is that you are looking for. Make things on Canva. Even if they're not perfect, it's okay. Just give them that idea that, this is what I'm looking for. If you see my cover has a skull. It has a human brain kind of a thing, and there's flowers growing out of it.
Right.
It's a growth that is happening. Flowers are blooming out of it. I love floral. I love flowers. Flowers connect the most with me. Something is blooming out of the mind, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the cover is saying.
Right. Perfect.
So you need to think on those lines, that what your cover is talking about and how your cover would be perceived by people. And no matter what, how many people would be like, this is how many people would be like, no, this one does not work. Whatever feels right to you should be yours. I will show you my book. Where did I keep my book? Just a second.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you can show the cover to the audience. I was going to ask you if you can show the cover if you have it right now.
I can show you this, but this does not have the right colors. I can show you this. I'll have to remove the black.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah. We can. All right.
So that this is the title, the subtitle, and that's the mind and the skull I was talking about. So the flowers are blooming from the brain.
Yeah.
It's all growing.
Yes, that's what is creating that impact. Seeing a human face, human skull, which we're talking about, and seeing that flowers coming out with variety of colors. It's just not one color; it's variety of colors, and the shapes as well. It's not the same shapes.
Yeah.
So it is passing on that short image is passing a very vibrant, positive vibe to people. And kudos to you. Yeah, really, it's a good cover which you have thought about. Though the color I think is green. The background is green.
The color is the mint green. Color is mint green. It is not the right color in this.
I know. Why did you make this, by the way? It's interesting. Why did you make this? I need the audience to know. I have spoken to you, so I know it. I want the audience to know.
This was how my book was launched.
This is very important.
This was used in my book launch. It was covered. We took the cover out. Guru Murli took the cover out, and we launched my book with this. And then we showed the public the book, the actual book. So this was used in the book launch. And it's like I love it. I see this every morning. I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote this. This is mine.
This is motivating her. She has told me this keeps on motivating her to do more. That's the reason she has it in front of you. Yeah, it's a first baby, you can say. Actually, she wants to look at it every time on that. Great, great sharing that, Anjali. Really great sharing that. So we had now decided on the title, the cover page. Now tell me what else was required. You got your manuscript approved, edited and everything by a publisher. Cover page ready, title ready. What else did you include in the book? The preface part or anything else you required, some acknowledgements which you want to give, references you want to give, anything. You can just give us the tips on that.
So I, in my book, I had an introduction before all the chapters. I had an acknowledgement. Preface, introduction.
Preface, preface.
Okay. I had an acknowledgement page. I had a dedication page. So after I've written the entire dedication as a story, that I have written the entire book. Everything is done. My publisher I never gave him the dedication page. So he just wrote dedication and added question mark in the PDF. I was like, why did you do that? Because I don't know what you want to write in the dedication. I was like, do I really need to write a dedication? I wasn't sure.
Wow. Okay.
I had no idea what dedication was till then. Then I went back, I read all the books that I have in my cupboard and I'm like, okay, this is how dedication is written. So I wrote the dedication.
So let us talk one by one. In preface, what do you write? In preface, what is the preface for? Let the audience know.
The introduction of all the 10 chapters.
So like a synopsis
of what is coming in the book.
Synopsis.
What is coming in the book?
Synopsis. It's like you're giving a synopsis in the preface. Why you've written this book and what do you want people to understand from this book, basically.
Just any do's and don'ts if you want. So my book has a lot of exercises. So I say people to have a mirror in front of you, have a journal, have a pen, something like that. So if there's some do's and don'ts that you want your readers to know, something like that.
Perfect. And then you have even an acknowledgement part. An acknowledgement you're just trying to
giving gratitude to people who have been good enough to teach you everything that you know.
Gratitude. You're talking about acknowledgement is more of showing gratefulness to people, being gratitude of the people who have been in your life, your parents, your teachers, or whoever you find, and even the people who've been negative with you, right? They also some of the people who have actually now motivated to show them what you can achieve. I think we should even talk about them, Anjali. Don't you think so? In the acknowledgement?
Absolutely. So, in my book, I write a lot of stories about my relatives and about my friends. And in acknowledgement, I subtly wrote that, for friends who are there and who are not, you were a big part of my life. So I dedicate this to you.
That's wicked, man. That's wicked, man. Yo. Cool. That's nice. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And in dedication part, what do you do?
So dedication is very simple of who this book is actually for. It's that simple, but I did not realize it because a lot of time people also dedicate it to their parents. But I said, I've already written all of this in the acknowledgement. I don't want to dedicate it to my parents. I don't want my parents to read it. It is, the readers are different.
Yes.
Right. So dedication is for your readers. Who are your target audience, as we say that, people who are maybe in their 30s or maybe who are executives, whoever is a target audience.
Right.
Just write something pretty and something nice for them to relate. Oh, this is me. I want to go ahead and write it.
So I like that. I like that of having dedication because I usually see the preface part having this dedication. And you, by separating dedication, you are now highlighting the target audience and you are actually making it clear to the people, if you're wanting this, please read it. It's not for these kind of people. Simple. It's very clear.
And your dedication has to be like very, very simple. Like, I mean, it does not have to be very complicated or something. People should be like, oh, this book is for me. That's
perfect. That's what it clearly gives you the idea that, oh, this is for me. Let me read it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So you had the dedication. So the preface, acknowledgement, dedication. Then you had that content page now. The contents.
Before all of this, I also had something called as foreword.
As
foreword. Foreword is written by someone outside, someone who most probably someone who has mentored you or someone who is in the same field.
All right. Okay.
So you send them for forwards. You have to send your book. That's where you have to do that because that person is giving the credibility to your book.
No, so this is like book, you're giving the final one, right? The final copy.
Yeah, the final.
Yeah,
the final copy. Yes.
I just want audience to be clear. They otherwise they think about the manuscript.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. The final book is going, right? Final book is going for the foreword. Now, in your case, who wrote the foreword for you? And why?
Guru Murli Sundaram.
Yeah. Wow.
He wrote
Lucky
the
you.
foreword
Lucky
for me.
you. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I had to send him a synopsis. I had to send him the entire manuscript. The PDF format, obviously, I did not have to give paper. The paperback would have not been printed anyway.
Of course. Yeah.
I gave him the book, and he took around a week or something. So you also have to manage your timeline with the 100 days, right?
Okay. Right. Just keep in mind all this, audience. Just keep in mind all this. These are the timeline. This is the timeline you have to follow. We'll again discuss the timeline in the end with Anjali. So we are more clear about the timeline. But now the foreword.
Yeah.
So you got the foreword from Guru Murli Sundaram sir.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And I hope you got a good one, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got a wonderful one. I love it so much.
Okay.
I just go and read it sometimes and you're like, oh yeah, he wrote such nice things for me.
It motivates you, yeah. Actually, it motivates you. Yeah. And
just for the fact that he took out time to read some part of my book and then write about it, it means a lot. Plus, he added a lot of credibility to my book. I being a very new coach and he being an experienced coach, and who has so much experience already. He writing something is extremely valuable in my book.
Absolutely.
And then signing it with happiness coach Murli Sundaram.
Absolutely. I do agree with you. Yeah. This is something very, and it motivates the audience also, when they, come across forward from such people and they get that depth of the book, your book, then it matters a lot for people. Okay. So we have preface, we have acknowledgement, we have dedication, we have the forward, and the book now, the content page.
The TOC, the table of contents.
Okay. What content
the
page?
10 how do you recommend? That you write first.
Yeah. Tell me the content page. Yeah. That's it. You just make a list, or you just talk a little more about the chapters over there. Or how do you do it?
No. So I did thought of, writing subpoints. My book is divided in sub chapters, but my publisher said not to. So this was an advice given by my publisher. Again, very important to have a good publisher. My publisher
said a point for publisher. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay to, not write your subtopics, just write your titles.
Okay.
I said, okay.
All right.
I agreed to what he said and I just wrote the titles.
So only the titles, right? In your book, it's only the titles which you're talking about.
Yeah.
So no subtitles giving a title and again, because I also feel, sometimes when you're reading the book and you have the title and so much of complexities, like a person is confused. Yeah. What do I open? Yeah. Where do I open kind of, So it's good. You stick on to that titles. So it's a good suggestion by Anjali for everyone who's aspiring to become an author. I'm Samir, the strategic life coach, and Anjali, who's a happiness coach and a self-healing coach. And we are discussing about tips on how to become an author with the experience of Anjali. Yes, Anjali. So we continue. We have the contents ready. We have everything is ready now, right? Acknowledgement, dedication, forward, and content, and the book. Everything is ready now. Now tell me.
Now your publisher has all of this. He will now structure the book in the format of how it will be printed. The entire type formatting would be done by a publisher. Now you would see the PDF of how your paperback would look.
Okay.
So again, at each stage, whatever the publisher does, you need to improve it. You need to give your suggestions if there are any. You need to keep giving them feedback because again, this is your project. This is your baby. You need to take care of it.
So when you're saying each stage, Anjali, what are we talking about here? Each stage.
So editing, covers, titles, type formatting, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Whatever is coming by from the other side, you need to be open for changes and you need to give them feedbacks.
Okay.
Because again, no telepathy happening here. You need to communicate what you want very clearly.
Right.
So even if in type formatting, so they will structure it in a way, they will structure it in a book format, right? Sorry. So in my book, I have one page that just has a chapter and then you flip the page and then the book starts.
Okay.
Then the chapter starts, right?
Okay.
So I had no idea that things like this also happen. I was pretty sure that, I just have one page for title and then you're starting on the next page. How does that make any sense?
Okay.
So that is when my publisher explained it to me that, this is how it would look better. This, if I do this, this would not look. He showed me options. He discussed it with me. It's important for you to have that communication. Don't put it in your head or don't you just bottle it inside you. Talk it out.
Understood.
So you're spending your money with him.
So each stage they were communicating to you. Basically, each stage they were sending you emails and correspondence was going on up and down, and you following up as well, right? You were following up.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the most important part, viewers. Yeah, most important part as an
Even-
author, you have to keep a follow-up with your publishers on each stage, because maybe they will not, but you have to. Yes, Anjali, continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even when the book is up for edit, and they will do everything in track changes mode. You will have to accept all the changes that they have done. It is up to you to accept or reject whatever you would like. So
This
there
is
are
an
high
important
chances that
point. Anjali, you made a
you
very
meant
important
something
point.
else. Yeah, so maybe you meant something else, but the editor thought of something else, and
Just a minute. Anjali, just a minute. We are sorry. I had to just cut it because there was a lot of noise happening in the kitchen of the pressure cooker, and so I don't want it to come in the recording. So again, we are back again, and we were talking about follow-ups. That follow-ups are damn important, guys. Okay, Anjali highlighted that follow-up has to be there with the publisher. You can just not leave the book with your publisher, and they can keep on doing the editing part, and you're okay with it. No, you cannot be okay with it. It's your baby. It's your product, right, Anjali? And you have to, if you don't like the changes they're making, you have all the right to go back to them.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are having these publishers. We will talk about how she has selected, and the financial part of it we'll discuss with Anjali furthermore. Now talking about the follow-up, after follow-up, then everything was ready. You got the complete structure ready. You got the book ready in the PDF format.
Yes. When the book is ready in the PDF format, when it is structured properly, it's now the time you send it for printing.
Oh.
And that's when your heart is like, oh my God, what is happening?
Oh, okay. So the final thing comes in, final manuscript is out with your cover. One thing we left out, the back cover. Tell me about the back cover, Anjali. What did you mention on the back cover? Why do we need a back cover? Audience need to know that. Yeah.
As we discussed earlier, that like when we were comparing book with a person or with dates or something like that, we read a bio, right?
Yes.
We need something that will give something interesting. Whenever you pick a book, you pick it like first, and then you turn. Like, okay, now I'll read it. So your back should be extremely interesting. The reader should be like, oh, this is me. This is what I want to read. I want this. It should be that interesting. It should have something about you, because the reader again connects a lot with the author. So a little information about the author and a little information about the book. That's all.
Okay.
That's all you need in the book.
All right. So can you talk about your back cover? Can you talk about your back cover? Yeah, to the audience. Okay, so why you mentioned, what you mentioned, and why you mentioned. Let them know.
Okay, so with my back cover, I knew I did not want very long paragraphs. I knew, because I would never book a book with a long paragraph.
Okay.
So that was a bias that I had in me, that it is not something that interests me. So I would not want that for my readers either. So I had a small paragraph, I had bullet points, and then I ended it with a small paragraph. That's how about the book was for me. Because when you write things in bullets, people read bullets before they read any other things.
Right.
Bullets just catches your eye. Like,
show us a back cover. Show us a back cover. So let the audience visualize. Let them visualize, and they can understand more better.
That is my back cover. I don't know if you will be able to see it. That's my entire back cover.
We can see. So, it's got your amazing photograph that it gives you a joy looking at her like that. You should look at that photograph of hers. You should actually look at her if you can. And she's talking about the book, and she's made it bullet points.
Yeah. So when someone sees like this, they turn it. The first thing they'll read is these bullet points. Always.
Making it super clear, actually. She has made it super clear.
Make it easy for the reader.
Dotted for you, and dotted for each and every reader who wants to read it. These are points you're looking for. My book is for you.
So if you want to divide it, ask them a question that, do you do this? Do you have this feeling? Ask like that. Explain what is inside. Explain what has been going around. Give a little answer to your do you question.
Okay.
Then say what is in your book in 3 bullet points.
Okay.
Then write how you wrote the book. So in this, I have written that I have shared my experience over here. So I mentioned it here only. So
we'll just sum it up once again. Sum it up. You ask the question number 1.
Yeah.
To the audience, right? The question to the audience. Next, what did you do?
I answered the question indirectly.
Then she answered the question indirectly. The second point,
this is what we have been told. This is how it has happened. This is how it has been happening. Just for the reader to connect.
Okay.
Then I mentioned the book. I mentioned what is in the book in 3 bullet points.
Then you mention your synopsis. Now that's the synopsis she's talking about in this 3 points. She mentioned what is there in the book. Okay. So synopsis as short as possible. Right. Next.
Then I said that this book is your one-stop guide. Give all the authority and credibility to my book. And then share that this book has my experiences in it. Because again, it is very important for the reader to know what he is going on. Why has the author written this book? What should be in it? So tell them directly that it has your experience. That's completely fine.
So you can call this as one word, benefits of reading this book.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, so absolutely.
I hope audience, you got the 4 points, which she's talking about the back cover.
Yeah.
It's a question. See, she made her back cover to be interactive, actually. I find it interactive, it's a very interactive back cover which you made. So she asked a question to you. She asked a question to me. And then she answered that question, what we could be thinking and what her viewpoint. And third, she created a synopsis after answering this question of the book. What is there in this book? And fourth, she talked about the benefit of reading this book. So it's a good point for all of you all to understand these 4 points for the back cover. Great. Great. All right. So we have the back cover also being discussed. Now
then
we have the
you about the author. In the back cover, the end part is about your author. You mentioned add a pretty picture of yourself. Very important. They should connect with you like this.
Very important. And with a smile of Anjali. Like, oh yeah. Anjali's smile is very, very, charismatic. Yeah. She's got that innocent smile, and the first time I saw her also, the smile was really, really charismatic, which made me wanting to talk to her. So that's good.
Oh, sweet. Oh, thank you.
So yes, so you have to have a good about you and a good photograph of yours, definitely. Not a sad face kind of, so it will not help, definitely. Right. So the book. Now let's talk about the financial aspect of it with the publishers, because now we are coming to the printing part, and definitely it's the finances. It's not about only giving, it's about also getting, because ultimately as an author, of course, we want to give it to the world. We want to give our knowledge to the world, the gift which Almighty has given us, of course. But let us talk about the professional. This is the passion aspect. Let us talk about the professional aspect as well in that way. We are talking about in terms of the transactional value of that, the financial value. So when we are talking about going to a publisher and you selecting it, what are the charges or what are the financial implications, which I think most of us are confused, So give us some viewpoint on that. Yeah.
I'll talk about this in INR, and I'll be very, very honest with it.
Okay.
So it starts from 2,000 INR to 2 lakhs INR.
Whoa. Okay.
All depending on your needs, your comfort, your budget, everything on you. Okay. Different publishers, different rates, different everything. Understand what are the basic things you need from a publishing house.
Okay. All right.
I knew I needed editing. Right. I knew I could not give a book out without editing. Some people. Right. So there are a lot of publishers also, at least in India, that you'll find who do not give a lot of importance to the editing part. They're like, "Okay, now why do we have to do editing?"
Perfect. Yeah.
So those publishers were a no for me. That's how I eliminated them. That okay, I need editing. That is important for me. I don't want to.
And they are lower on cost. They are lower on cost.
Yeah. No, they can be expensive as well. So the expenses are added with the marketing you want.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is one
when
thing
you
which you
are
should
done
note
with
down.
The book,
yeah.
When you're done with the entire book, you have to market your book. That is the reason how it will sell. You need to market your book. So the prices, the prices that go to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs are because of the marketing they do for your book. And if not to make anybody sad or not to make people. Not to pull people down.
You can't make anyone sad, Anjali. You can't. With that smile, you can't. Please tell us. Please tell us.
There's also something called as best-selling authors on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
You can also get that through publishing houses. Okay. So it's
information. Yeah. Okay.
You can get that. It's not very difficult. It's not something like, where it's like how much money you will spend, you will get the benefits. It's just that. If you want to be a best-selling author and you think your book you will not sell it that many copies in such a lot of time, your publishing can get that done for you. It's not a very big
thing. It's the marketing thing, I can say, like the publishing house with that marketing aspect which they have, they can do that and they can have your book sold and things. So this is in terms of having the business point of view which you are talking about. So from 2000 to 2 lakh, depending on the publishing house you pick up. And what does that include? Like with the printing part, what does it include basically?
Your book needs an ISBN. Your book needs a copyright. These are the basic things that a book always has. So if you see
the
at
copyright
the end,
part. Yes, you got a good point here. No, we can't. It's blurry.
So, I'll have to remove the blur just.
We'll have to do like this, or clean our screen like this, Okay.
This part over here is an ISBN number, and it would be unique for your book. Each book, this is unique for each and every book.
The barcode, right?
The barcode, and it has a small number here. It has an ISBN number.
Of course, the number.
ISBN is for your book. This is your. This Empower Your Superpowers is by Anjali Gursahaney. Yeah.
This is international, right?
Each and every book, whichever book you will put, will always have this. Always.
So publishers get you
this. Oh. Yes, it is their job to get you this.
People, you can't do without publishers. You need publishers, and good ones. Yeah.
So they also need to, add a disclaimer page. Because again, we are writing a self-help book, right?
Right.
People can later sue us that your text did not help us. So to save yourself from that, you need a page like this, which gives you a disclaimer that we are not liable, and if you follow, this is author's perspective.
So one more part missing, disclaimer. We need to have a disclaimer because see, I do understand, Anjali, you had your own pure intentions for helping people. You're not talking about cheating people here, of course.
Absolutely, yes.
But every one of us are in a different frame of minds, right? Though you're giving the valuable valuable knowledge which you have, which you have gained from experiences and your certifications and your learnings. But of course, it varies with people to people because we don't know what people are going through in their life, and that's the reason I think, Anjali, we require coaches. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
You have
a very generic perspective. It's
exactly.
So if you actually need that much help, get a coach.
Yes, and a coach, being a coach, is talking about fast help, trying to mobilize it more quicker. Because when you go for the self, I'm not saying, I'm not denying the fact that, okay, self-coaching can help you. But in certain cases, it does not work. Or if it works, it's a very slow process. It's a very slow process. And we don't want years and years to pass, right, Anjali? Don't you agree?
Even your book, already, right?
Even your book is talking about healing quickly. It's talking about So I think people, this disclaimer is for those people who are not in the right frame of mind, and they just want to put an excuse basically that you gave us this book and now the book is not helping me. So disclaimer is important. All right.
Also, the disclaimer page also has one small thing called as copyright. So because this is your book, you have the copyright for it. Your publisher does not. Publisher has the copyright for the cover. Of how the cover is designed. This entire thing is publishers because they have designed it, right? You just give suggestions.
Right.
But everything inside, whatever is here, is yours.
So when we talk about is yours, so just make people understand this. The copyright, what they have is for the cover. That means you cannot use this cover except for the permission of the publisher, anywhere else. But when we're talking about the contents of the book, Anjali, highlight on that. Let people understand that, please.
So the content, you wrote the entire content, so you have the copyright of your content. No one can make or repeat or rephrase your content without giving you the due credits. Like we were giving credits to people using for the quotes that we were using, right? Now, when people take something from your book, they will give you credits, and if they don't, you can again have this is already written on your book, so you can obviously have sue them and bring it up on a quote or something if you want. You can do it easily.
Right. So you understand. I hope audience, you understood what she's talked about. She's telling us that the cover cannot be used by you because it's designed by them, right? But the contents can be used anywhere you like. Like she can create a YouTube video. She can keep on reading it to see people, 1 chapter, 2 chapters. She can do that. She can even have the chapters quoted in some newspaper if she wants to. It's her content. So I hope you're clear with this.
Even with the cover, I can with giving the due credits to the publishing house.
Exactly. You have to give due credits
to the book.
Yeah.
They will put their logos everywhere.
Yes, they will
In the
do
book,
that.
they will put their logo. So
I know that.
when you're using your book, when you're using the cover, you're any which way is giving the credit to the publisher.
Yes,
That is always
yes,
there.
that is there.
Don't hide
But
them.
when
I mean,
the content is yours, so you
content is
can
yours.
use it
Content is
without
yours.
giving any credibility to the publisher. That's what is meant, and you have to be very clear in your disclaimer. These things are very important, guys. When you're going to a publisher, you have to note these points, because maybe they catch you on those points and you're not aware of it. Anjali was smart enough. She's a smart babe, you know, so she knew that she has to be very clear that they don't play around with this, because yes, people have been in trouble, you know, they did not know, and the publisher took the copyright of the content as well. And they were having problems. So
this is why good publisher, guys, always take good publishers.
Yes, it's a very important thing. You get the right publisher who's genuine and who's not playing around with you. And this is a very important part of copyright, that you have to have the copyright of your content. No one should be having that. Good point there, Anjali. Very good point there. So we have cleared on the disclaimer and copyright part, which we missed. Thank you for highlighting that. Really, thank you for that, because this was a very important part, actually, right? Very important part.
Yeah, absolutely important.
Yeah, because it's your life's work, you know, you put everything in it. Suddenly if someone takes the credit for that and you're not able to use it anywhere, oh my God.
Nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah, totally. So we're talking about the expenses, and as she mentioned, expenses will be including your printing part, will be including your copywriting, which is very important, internationally being copyrighted, right, Anjali? So publishers taking care of that, and you need to have a good publisher, guys. So when you're printing, you're getting your work published, have a good publisher. And Anjali was very intelligent enough to do the research. She had she researched what she has to look for a publisher. She made the list of that, and she had it checked very nicely. So that's a good tip from Anjali, that you have to have that good publisher, and you have to do your homework there every day. Okay, so we have this printed. Now tell me this journey after printed. Tell me your launch. So let us revive that happiness. You know, let us live that moment again. Tell me the launch and the feeling.
Before we get there, when the book is printed, it is then delivered to your home address. Okay. It comes in your hands. And that's
I forgot that.
That's like the most fanciest and the most beautiful day of your life, because you for the first time you hold your hard work in your hand. You're like, this is mine. I wrote this. This is me.
Right.
So that moment, so what happened with me was my publisher sent it with a cab. So he did not come. He sent my books in a cab, and the cab driver came to my place and he gave me the books.
Okay.
So at that, I had not even seen my book before that. It was all on PDFs and laptop and everywhere. It was not in my hands, right?
Okay.
The first thing what I did was, so usually in my home, if you do something like this, something very big and something celebratory, we usually put it in a temple and we celebrated with God.
Okay.
At that point of time, I literally asked the cab driver, do you have kids? Do they read books? What are they doing? I just interviewed him for a minute or so, and I realized that his kids are a part of people that I want to impact, and I gave him the copy. That was the first person to have the copy of my book, even before me actually touching and having my book in my hands.
Wow. Okay. You're so excited, actually. Okay.
Yeah. And that's in the moment you realize that it is your hard work in your hands and you wrote it for people.
Right.
Selling it, everything is there. I understand the business aspect. I understand all of it. But the impact still had to happen, right? So I have no idea why I did it at that point of time, but it just felt like, this is something I want to do.
Wow.
This is something I want to. This is why I did it. I want to give it to the people, right? So that is why I gave it to the driver first, and then I bought the copies in my home. Then my parents saw it, then everybody else saw it. Like they all were very surprised with the fact that the first copy everyone is like, first copy, I'll get the first copy. I'll get the first copy.
Yeah.
No single person got the first copy except the cab driver.
That is such a surprising thing, Anjali. Yeah. And I'm living this moment with you right now, that the happiness which you are now, it's coming out. I'm actually visualizing it, and I'm right now standing outside there watching you giving that book to that cab driver. So you have said it so emotionally, that connect I can see. I could feel myself standing there and you giving that book to that cab driver, the way you have said it, you felt it. And I do agree. It's all about your intentions of giving to the world.
So because of COVID, we all have to wear masks and everything. Nah?
Yeah.
I clicked this picture, and even if I show you the picture, I can't show it to you right now, but even if I show you the picture, you can see him smiling through the mask.
Wow.
That was how happy he was because of it.
He
because
must be
again,
honored,
understand that people do not get that.
Yeah.
He delivering some copies to a random girl, and that random girl being like, "Oh, I wrote this, and I want you to have it."
Wow.
It's something that does not happen with him also daily, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he must be doing it for so many people, and I think you must be the first one to do that. Actually speaking, you could be the first one to do that to him. It's
if I am gay,
you actually don't know as well. You must have made his entire life actually, by doing this gesture. It's like, he must have been out of his, like, on top of his world, to the moon, kind of. My God, someone honored me at last. Because he must be delivering, and so it's a good thing. And it's a very rare thing which you did, actually. A very rare thing. People want that first copy to go to some big celebrity or big, to make that big headlines. And wow, simplicity, Anjali. So I should be calling you Simple Anjali. It's a very good thing.
How nice.
It's nice. So you gave that copy. That's wonderful. And then family must be thrilled, of course, and really shocked as well. That Anjali, you, an author now, kind of, what was that reaction,
So
tell me about it. I know it.
My mom knew this.
Audience to know as well. Yeah.
So I knew the books were coming to my home. I had spoken to the publisher. I was coming. I was blogging out on Instagram that 1 hour to go, half an hour to go, 10 minutes to go. The guy is not here. What do I do? I was dying outside my home. I was literally dying. I was like, please, aa jao.
It was like NASA, right? NASA, Houston. The counters on, like, 2 hours, 1 hour. Oh.
Yeah. I was doing exactly that. And somehow people on my Instagram were also excited. They're not getting the book. I am getting the book. I am getting my book delivered at my place, and they are the ones who are also excited.
Your excitement created that, that bubble, actually. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also, so when the books came, I did not post anything because I got very happy. So I got a lot of messages. Did you get them? Will you please update us? Why have you not added a story now when you should have? Because again, they were also waiting for that to happen.
Right.
So my mom came home from work, and I did not tell her that the books are coming today. But I did tell my dad. He was already home, and I said the books would come, and he knew, because I am a very impatient kid, that I was which was, waiting 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. When is my book coming? Why is it not coming?
Right.
So my dad knew that it is coming, but again, my dad had no idea that, how book of a deal it was.
Right.
Because he had only heard me saying it. He never visualized it.
Yeah. That's what happens, actually speaking.
Yeah. So I got, I did the entire cab drive over thing, and then I got around 20 copies for myself. So I got those 20 copies. I picked them. So the cab was a little far from my home. So I walked all the way home, looking at them and like, oh, these are mine. That is how I was actually walking. These are mine.
Okay.
So by that time, my mom was home.
Mm-hmm.
So I came and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'll come in a minute. Just wait, I am coming. I did not tell her that, this is because I wanted to see her genuine first reaction. That I really wanted.
Okay, so it was a surprise for them, actually,
yeah? Yeah. So I went, and then I rang the bell again, and like, I am back. And this is for you. I had this one big bundle of book, and this is for you.
Wow. Okay.
And then that was the first time when they also, when we all picked up I could not pick my book. Even then I could not pick my book because it was very emotional for me to, actually hold it and see it and, go through it. I could not hold my book. So my parents looked at it. They were very proud. My mom made prasad at home. She did all her puja and everything with the books, and, just to get God's blessing and everything. My daddy came. She looked at the book. I still could not open my book and take it in my hands because it was a very big deal for me.
You were startled, right? You were startled, exactly.
I could not believe what was happening.
Is it a dream? Is it a dream?
Yeah.
Please, someone pinch me, kind of, yeah.
And at that point of time, we had our Tuesday meeting, the Polaris Tuesday meeting at that point of time, and I said, my book is here, I cannot pick it. My book is here, I cannot pick it. I want to pick it, I cannot pick it.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. These episodes, these are the moments of life, like we will cherish it throughout your life. Absolutely. Anytime you are in that moment of sadness, we all go through these emotions, And once we, our audience, I just want to share this. When you're going through that sadness, this Anjali's episode is like one episode she's talking about, which anytime she remembers it, it will get that smile which you saw on her face, that radiating smile right now. You see that the lips are going from ear to ear right now, right? So create those moments, guys. Create those moments in life and make yourself happy. Yeah, make yourself happy, please. All right. I just want to share this, Anjali. Sorry, I felt like doing that to the audience.
Yeah, it is absolutely important, because we are always in the what will happen in the future, what will happen in the past. That is why I did not, take you back to the book launch directly, because this was like a very important thing. This was like a very important episode that happened.
Good, yeah. Really appreciate you took us there, and you made us happy as well with that. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Continue. Yes. Then.
Now I took some time. Then I posted a small story on my Instagram that, the book is here. Please relax, everybody. I will post as soon as I can.
Okay.
Then again, I went live on my Instagram. After my meeting was ended, I went live on my Instagram because I wanted to share. So these are like small families, small communities that I have. My family, my TLC Polaris, my Instagram family. All of these are like small communities that matter a lot to me, that I want to share my happy moments.
Let's talk little about TLC Polaris to people so that they know what we're talking about, because people I know. So let people also get a little viewpoint. Viewers, TLC Polaris is a community of coaches, authors, and teachers and leaders who are masterminds, basically, with the aim of creating good coaches, good teachers, good authors, so that we can reach out to the world. That's what Anjali is talking about. So Polaris is one community within this big community. So TLC is a very big community with different communities. Yes. So if you want to know about it, you can always Google it, TLC. And you'll get the information. I just wanted you to know, because it's developing us as well. It's creating an improvement as well. So I thought might as well we share with them as a Anjali, because you've talked about TLC and they should know about it. They have the right to know actually. Yeah. So So tell me about now further.
So these are the small communities that I am a part of, and I want to celebrate my happiness with them. So luckily, our Polaris meeting was on a Tuesday. We meet every Tuesday. So it was one of those Tuesdays. So I shared it with them. Then I shared it with my
coincidence,
Instagram.
What a coincidence, right?
Absolutely. Else I had to wait a week to show it to them. I could not do that. I wanted to show it right there.
I remember. I was there. I remember.
It is so nice when, people from... So Polaris being one mastermind that is international, that is from all over the world. You see all the other people also being happy for you.
Yes.
Even if you haven't met them personally ever, and even if you've just connected for a month or so and not, for a month means 4 meetings, nothing more than that. To spend 4 meetings is like 1 hour in a week, right?
4 hours, yes.
Even when you see people being happy for you, genuinely happy for you, with no personal interest or anything, that is what actually matters.
Yeah, it motivates
that
you.
That is the kind of community that you really want around you.
That's the point. We need that kind of people around us, that kind of community around us, who, not criticize us. This is what I was talking about when I talked about before.
Motivators,
People have to understand that we need motivators and we don't need criticism.
Absolutely.
Please stop criticizing people. Please stop criticizing. The parents and the teachers, some of them, stop criticizing and start motivating. You are doing the play of critics as well as a motivator. When you're a motivator, so that's cool. Yeah, I agree with you totally, Anjali. Yes. So after this episode, did you go in for the launch? Like we had this which happened in Goa, if I'm not wrong. In Goa, we had the tilt, right? Tell me about it.
Again, talking about TLC, bringing TLC back in the picture, because obviously TLC was the one that gave me the 100 days writing challenge.
Right.
So all gratitude to them. So TLC had their national conference in Goa, India, and there we had to launch our books. And I was fortunate enough to get my book launched over there by Guru Murli himself. And so launch is one beautiful moment where they play. I'll tell you how the launch happens. Okay. They play. They call upon author. They add author in front of your name and they call you. Okay. So they were like, author Anjali Gursahaney, and then everybody cheers and everybody claps and everything. And you go up on the stage. They play the trailer of your book. Okay, we also got a trailer of it. because we wanted people to, buy the book. So we made a trailer of the book.
Wow.
So they play the entire trailer, which has something about you, something about the book. Then they bring this. This is actually gift wrapped at that point of time.
Okay.
We open it together. So Guru Murli and I opened it together. We spoke. He congratulated me at that point of time. And then we bring on family members and other mentors. So I got Sachin, I got my mother, I got my Masi, I got Guru Murli over there. All of them opened the cover of my books. And they all showed the book like this to the audience. And that is how a launch of a book happens. And that is when the book got live on Amazon itself. So it was the same day.
Wow. Okay.
So the launch is that one beautiful moment where you see yourself on stage, and when you go back and see the video, now you see yourself celebrating something, and you see everybody else also celebrating that. And then you see your mother, you holding the book the highest. So everybody was holding the book like this. My mom was holding it like this.
Wow.
Because that was genuine. And after that, my mom was like that, you should have told me that I have to hold it like this. You should have told me before. I was like, why should I tell you? That is what you were doing. That was your happiness. That is how you wanted it to happen.
Exactly. She wanted to scream out to the world, look at my daughter, look at my daughter. She felt that you can say elevation in what being a parent, being a good parent kind of a thing. She kind of felt that at that moment, which I feel. And I hope you understood what Anjali just talked about, your viewers. She's talked about you are writing a book, you completed a book, everything is in one place, but the launch of your book and making it public at that moment is the best part. With your family, with your friends, with your mentors, that's an absolute satisfaction feeling, and you feel satisfied at that moment that it's ultimately published, right? Ultimately in there with the public domain.
Yeah.
That satisfaction, that calmness, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. So after that, then we had sales going on, and she's just not stopping now. The book is on Amazon, the book is on bookstores. So if you've not grabbed your copy, I think you should. You should actually read the book, and you should actually feel what she's, because it's about personal life, and personal life, when you're giving the perspective of personal life, it's a different thing, Anjali. It's a different thing. It's quite genuine when you're saying about that. So viewers, stop thinking, and please go and grab a copy of Anjali's book, right? So you have me, Samir, strategic life coach, a colleague of Anjali, and trust me, this was a surprise interview for her. I did not
I'm not even ready.
I did not even tell her that I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be recording this. It was just a casual talk which she thought about, a one-to-one which we're going to have for me. But I said, no, let me convert this for everyone, because everyone has these questions, right? So I cheated Anjali actually.
He played smart. You should always be careful near Samir. He can play smart whenever you want.
No, but see, it came out natural now, because I wanted that natural thing to come out from Anjali, and we got the natural aspect. And I love this interview which we had right now, that talk which we had right now. It was so casual, and I hope people will be just enjoying listening to us, Anjali, all over. With the tips which you got. And I'm definitely, with your permission, Anjali, I'm going to even make a script out of this, and try to, I'll try to, it'll take some time, but I'll try to create a tips with, with Anjali. I'll just try to make a script, and I'm going to be putting it on my social media. I will be definitely doing that, because there are a lot of people who have these questions, and we got so many of them answered today, Anjali, thanks to you, because I thought you will be able to give me that introspection for ourselves and the perspective of becoming an author. And you did quite well. You gave us in and out from the cover page to the back cover, the complete story. You've given us that, and it's wonderful. Yeah, it was great talking to you, and I hope you enjoyed talking to me as well.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for doing it, for not letting me know and still doing this.
No, come on, it was something which it was more of I wanted for myself, and I said no, this has to go with people. There are no, because if we can aspire, as you said, impact one person, with this message which you are giving. If one person also sees this interview,
one person starts writing their book, we are done. That is that's what matters.
And you never know, we get million hits with this, we never know. This could go like randomly million hits, like people just
Yeah.
loving this interview and trying to understand, oh, this is how I write a book and this is the do's and don'ts. And oh my God, I did not know about copywriting. I did not know about disclaimer. Oh, you know, a lot of things will be like the oh moment for many of them. So
Yes,
with that note, you know, this was a very good thing which we did right now, you know, for the people as well. And they get it for free. We're not charging, you see, right? So great. Yeah. With this note, Anjali, we will have this interview or this talk which we had to an end. I enjoyed every moment talking to you, and your smile is so charismatic. It just puts my smile on my face as well. Thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for considering me for this. That truly means a lot to me.
Come on, yeah, come on. You deserve, well deserved. Yeah, means you have put your efforts in it. Well deserved, well deserved. So take care. All right, audience. So we'll catch you later on some other time and with some other stories. All right. Take care then. Bye bye.